Tekken 7 has been out for 7 years at this point. Despite going on for so long, the game maintains a healthy player base and an incredibly active competitive scene, with tournaments that continue to draw in hundreds and thousands of spectators who want to see the best of the best showing off their skill. Hey everyone, this is Arya from That Blasted Salami. Today we want to take a closer look at the competitive side of Tekken and highlight 7 of the hypest moments that made the crowd go wild. Moments that will forever be cemented in the history of this incredible game. Our first highlight takes us back to the top 8 of the Tekken World Tour 2019. It's the second match of the losers bracket, Rickstah vs Knee. At the time, Rickstah already had a reputation as one of the strongest Akouma players out there, going toe-to-toe against the likes of Anakin, Lil Majin, and Bincha. However, this time he had to face none other than Knee, the god of Tekken himself. Things seemed a bit one-sided at first. However, starting with the second match, Rickstah showed everyone that he's here to win, and that he can clutch things out when it seems almost impossible. After evening out the score with a hard-fought 3-2 match, we get to the final showdown. Rickstah, once again on tournament point, was primed for a comeback. Despite opening the round with a massive combo and further pressuring Knee at the wall, one well-placed jet upper was enough to put both of them just a hit away from death. And that's when it happened. At the exact same moment, the two clashed. Knee followed up Brian's hatchet kick with a rage drive, while Rickstah bets it all on Akuma's invincible but rarely seen super, taking Brian's rage drive on the chin before retaliating with a massive fireball. The crowd went ecstatic, and even though Knee would go on to win the final round and the rest of the tournament, this one play easily overshadowed everything else that day. From one clutch play to another, we move on to the Tekken World Tour Finals, a match between LowHigh and Awais Honey. While LowHigh only really entered the international scene with Tekken 7, he quickly became a notable player with his first place at EVO 2018 and back-to-back wins at Rev Major 2018 and 2019. Awais Honey, on the other hand, was amongst some of those amazing players from Pakistan who started showing their skills on the global scene from 2019. Before making it to the TWT finals, he showed everyone his extremely strong Akouma at FV Cup and Rocks and Roll Dubai, taking first place at both tournaments. These two players had fought twice before, always taking it to the last possible round, and Awais always managing to take the final round. At first, their TWT set was no exception. LowHigh and Awais kept going back and forth, and when it came down to that final round once again, LowHigh refused to let victory slip away this time. And that's when we saw it. The most famous or infamous rage art in all of Tekken. After absorbing the attack, LowHigh was left with barely any health and dealt just enough damage to close out the set, winning over the hearts of the audience and the entire match.
Into top 8, eliminating Awais from the tournament. Oh my god!
They call him the People's Champion for a reason. Lil Majin's performance at EVO 2018 was a sight to behold, and a perfect combination of showmanship, extraordinary skill, and narrative. Whilst America has no shortage of amazing Tekken players, it's no secret that Korea was widely considered to be the strongest Tekken scene in the world. As such, it's always a big deal to see someone from your region overcome one of the greats. Lil Majin is one such man. When he reached the top 8 of EVO's Tekken tournament, he was the only player left to represent his home turf. Going up against JDCR, the pressure was on and expectations were high. The game starts and everyone is shocked. JDCR completely runs over Lil Majin in the first match, and yet it would only make what happens next so much more hype. As if powered up, Majin reverses the tides and begins to pile on the pressure while stuffing JDCR's attempts at a comeback. It's a clean 3-0, and like the showman he is, Majin gives the audience that signature look. In the final match, JDCR begins to adapt and took things to the final possible round, but at that point, Majin was unstoppable, taking down one of the best players in the world with utmost confidence. He might have come third overall, but at that moment, he was the true king of Tekken. Have you ever seen a combo so insane that it changed how people feel about a character? Well, Akouma has a few of those, and Super Akouma was one of the first to show the world the real power of this character. His prior knowledge of Tekken fundamentals and dedication to one of the most technical characters quickly produced results, with Super Akouma consistently securing high placements at European events and making sure that even the best Tekken players have to put in the work if they want to beat him. However, the Mix-Up 2019 was that moment when Super Akouma went from being that strong guy from Europe to one of the best Tekken players in the world. His tournament run was something else and gave us one of the wildest comebacks of all time. After he was reduced to the last pixel of health and got nearly perfected by Chikurin, Super Akouma does the demon flip and starts an incredible 2-bar combo, taking Jin wall to wall and decimating his life bar in the process. It doesn't quite kill, and this is where most players would take a safe approach. But not Super Akouma, oh no. Instead, the madman parries the incoming toe kick, capping off his already impressive comeback with extra spice. With Tekken's large cast, most of us wondered at one point or another if we chose the right character or not. Maybe our main is just not viable and we should have chosen someone stronger. Well, Rangchu casually put that question to rest at the Tekken World Tour 2018 finals. While Rangchu is certainly an impressive player in his own right, he was still about to face a serious challenge. Kudans is rightfully celebrated as one of the greatest Tekken players, a Devil Jin loyalist, and winner of the previous year's TWT. Not only that, but Kudans and Rangchu had already run into each other in the top 8 of EVO and Rev Major during the same year, with Kudans winning both times. But this time was different. Rangchu's strengths became immediately obvious. Content with blocking Kudans' pressure, he patiently waited for a chance to strike and swing momentum in his favor. Even when he had only a sliver of health to work with, Rangchu kept his composure and kept fighting, which led to a smooth 3-1 bracket reset. Kudans made some big adjustments in the following set, but it wasn't enough to stop Rangchu's momentum. Just like that, he became the Tekken World Champion. It says a lot that even Harada himself was shocked to see Panda win the biggest Tekken tournament in the world, a character that many considered to be one of the worst. This victory will always serve as a reminder that as long as you put in work and play your best, any character is viable.
Panda! Really?
While they're certainly fun, hype Tekken moments are more than just flashy comebacks or risky plays. One such example is the entire set between Knee and JDCR at the Rev Major 2017. One of the prime examples of good-ass Tekken, as a certain noise connoisseur would say. Knee and JDCR are obviously some of the best Tekken players of all time. On top of that, the two have had a long-lasting rivalry that gave us some intense matches where both of them play at the peak of their ability, this being one of them. It's hard to point out the best part of this set. Is it Knee's impeccable use of Feng's evasive movement? Maybe JDCR's suffocating pressure? When you have two gods of Tekken go at it, it's nothing but hype the whole way through. Even when rounds end with a timeout, it had the audience at the edge of their seat as every poke would become game-changing. And as with many great Tekken sets, it all came down to the last possible round, with JDCR managing to close it out in a dominant fashion. Years go by, and yet this set remains as one of the fondest memories in the history of Tekken 7.
JDCR. Man.
For the last highlight, we can't not mention one of the defining moments in the history of competitive Tekken. The moment when an entirely new scene emerged and made themselves known as a force to be reckoned with. And a moment when Arslan Ash became known as the new king of the Iron Fist tournament. Arslan's rise began at a little-known event in Dubai called Omni Universe Gaming. In 2018, Arslan won both Tekken 7 and King of Fighters 14 tournaments at that event. But more importantly, he beat Knee himself. Naturally, this got everyone's attention. An unknown player beating the god of Tekken? That's insane. His streak of winning tournaments and beating top players continued, even beating Knee again at the SEA Major 2019. With EVO 2019 just on the horizon, it served as a real opportunity to face the fiercest international competition and prove that he is, in fact, the best of the best. In his 10 consecutive wins on the way to the grand final, he defeated Shadow, Cuddlecore, Anakin, Gen, Noroma, and once again, Knee. But with Knee making it out of the losers bracket, it was time for the final test. Both of them had a lot on the line. You could easily see the stress and pressure Knee and Arslan were under as they pushed each other to the absolute limit. After several arduous matches, Arslan eventually came out as the victor, and his reaction says it all.
Warrior out of nowhere, and you know, of course, paying respect. I love what I'm seeing there. Beautiful.
And that's all we have for you today. We hope you found it fun to go over just a few of the most memorable moments in Tekken 7's long history. If you have a personal favorite that didn't make it into the video, please share it with us in the comments, and more importantly, tell us about your own highlights. Maybe it was beating a long-time rival, reaching a new rank, or even going to your first tournament. This was Arya from TBS wishing you a great day. Until next time all, bye-bye.